Are you looking for a brand new, quick-to-play TTRPG that's just a little bit different? The monsters can help. Listen to them. They'll guide you. Do not, under any circumstances, let the monsters guide you. Let's talk about Grit Fantasy RPG, a slick, new, lightweight game suited to one-shots and short campaigns. It's not been out for long, but I've already run a few games in the system, so I'll guide you. We'll look at the rules, the vibes, the cool monsters, and why I think you will have a lot of fun with this. My name's Rich, and this is Renegade Rolls. This video isn't sponsored or affiliated with the creators. I just heard about the game, liked the idea, played it, and here we all are, about to make some monster friends. Though, since deciding to make a video about the game, I've been in touch with Jeremy, the designer, who very kindly sent me some lovely high-res versions of the art. Before we get to my review of the system as a whole, here is a super speedy 30-second summary. Grit is a D12-based rules-lite-ish TTRPG in a low-ish fantasy setting, designed for one-shots and short campaigns. There are 5 aspects called Might, Prowess, Valor, Insight, and Command. NPCs and monsters have unified stat that are used for everything. An important rule: when rolling, meets it does not beat it. You need to exceed the target number, and the difference is the damage that you do. Focus dice boost rolls, but it's only one use per session. Once they're gone, they're gone. Combat mechanics are simple, with a really cool action and reaction system that I've not seen anywhere before. There are no classes, but lots of opportunities to customize your characters with some original lineages. I mean, just look at these little guys. Story time. One thing I love about playing one-shots and short campaigns is that the players are a lot braver with their characters. They'll just do stuff, whether it's a good idea or not. For one of the one-shots I played, I started the adventure in... yeah, it's a tavern, of course, but it immediately turned into a brawl as different adventuring parties had to fight their way to the door in order to claim a contract. We had a ruck-war, a froom, and a hoblin, with artwork here drawn in a mix of styles from my fantastic players. The mechanics gave a load of space for my players to get creative on how exactly they brawled their way through the masses, with each player using their strengths to jump, bash, or just stride their way to the front. Once they'd got there, they were given a mission to head out of town to an abandoned tower by the roadside. Underneath, they found some frankly inevitable catacombs, which led to a very clearly unholy temple. They found their way into the main chamber, and there was a room at the back where they could carry on to the next bit. But no. Without any prompting from me, one of the group said, "I take my knife and make a blood offering into the silver dish on the altar." Okay then. I flipped through the monster tokens I'd picked up and dropped in a 40-foot tall seeker into the room as the floor turned into a lake of blood. It picked up one of the characters in its hand and in a deep rasp said, You I take to hell," and closed its hand. We ended the session there. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Grit sits in a really interesting space between quick one-shot and long-form game, where you've got time to dive into the world and its characters, but aren't really committing to months or a years-long campaign. The streamlined approach to actions and damage is something that allows for some super slick and action-packed combat. Like me, the Grit creator Jeremy Pete is a massive fan of index card RPG. I feel like I can see the cues and influences, but Grit never feels like a clone. The big thing that separates the two games, other than the D12 dice mechanic, is the low magic setting. Grit sits comfortably alongside games like Cairn and Knave in giving that low character power. Yeah, these folks aren't saving the world anytime soon. By design, there's no character leveling, which you could see as a restriction, or freeing in a way, as your players shouldn't be thinking about getting ever stronger. More, how will they progress through the story with the character that they have? The thing I like about rules-lite systems is that you can be really low-tech with them. It doesn't need a companion app or spreadsheets to run, just one quick-page character sheets and you are off and running. Grit is lovely and simple in this regard, and although we played online, it's a game you could easily play in a power cut. For character creation, we were often running in just 15 minutes. I reckon if we were more familiar with the rules, we could have got that down to 5. I much prefer taking the time at the start of the session to talk about backstories and connections between the characters and why they're going to stick together as a party, rather than worrying about rolling lots and lots of stats. One mechanic I've not seen before is the choice between taking an action or a reaction. It adds an interesting tactical choice to every turn in combat. If anyone's seen something similar in another system, please let me know, but it's new to me. Something I always look for when reading a TTRPG book for the first time is to try and figure out the general vibes. In Grit, this is super easy. I can't imagine many sunny days or true heroes with unburnished, shiny hearts out there. The world shared in the rules is darker, grittier, and smellier than many other fantasy settings. I had fun letting my players lean into that with their characters. A huge star of the show for me is the wonderful artwork. Game designer Jeremy Peet drew all the art, the characters, the monsters, as well as the weird extra little bits in the book. He's a genuinely multi-talented guy. In one of his videos introducing the system, Jeremy said that he designed the game to facilitate joy. And as a basis for a starting philosophy behind the project, that sits really well with me. I like that the combat system is there to serve quick decision making and tactical flow, rather than getting bogged down in too much maths. I find my joy in the choices made in the heat of battle and the stories that come out of it, not in number crunching. I think as long as your expectations are in line with what Grit is offering, you'll have a great time. There are definitely things missing and scenarios that aren't covered in the rules, but if you're running Grit, chances are it's not the first system that you've played. You can do what people have been doing since the start of TTRPGs, hacking things and adding in modular bits from other games. If you want rules for fighting in zero gravity or how to handle an edge case, just wing it. It'll be fine. But with that said, the lack of precision in the rules might be a barrier for new GMs. I could picture a group brand new to the hobby not really sure how to adjudicate some situations. But if that's you, remember this is your game that you own and you're not going to get in trouble for doing it wrong. You'll be absolutely fine. One thing I did have difficulty with on my first playthrough was figuring out exactly what happens when you meet but don't beat the target number, as it's not quite explicit in the rules. But you've just watched this video, so you know that meets it does not beat it. You just have a stalemate, and damage is only caused by the difference between a player's roll and the target number. Grit has so many things to recommend it. The fact that just one person was game designer, writer and artist blows my mind. If you've played it, please do let me know how it went. Was there a giant seeker in a lake of blood, or was that just a me thing? If you'd actually like to give the game a try, I've got a Discord server where I'm running a whole load of interesting games. Some Grit one-shots are definitely going to be on my list, along with a whole load of other systems. There's a link to that in the description, as well as where to pick up Grit for yourself. If you're looking for more old school TTRPG crunchiness in your life, you might enjoy this video on Dungeon Crawl Classics. If you're looking for something epic, Daggerheart might be for you. I'll see you there or at a table near you, rolling an improbable succession of ones, along with my monster friends. Cheers.